Guys, welcome to War Week Boxing. Is Tank Davis a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter? Well, we'll see what Rick Glaser thinks on the latest edition of Real Talk with Big Rick Glaser. Can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser. Guys, welcome. Happy Monday to all of you guys. And if it's Monday evening, that means we're conversing with the living legend, the incomparable Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Not bad. Thank you for asking. Let's get started.
All right, very good. We're going to start off with a segment that you don't really care for very much, but we're going to do it and we're going to give it a try. One more time, Floyd, please.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
Yeah, just give it a Rick. Here we go, brother. Fact or fiction, Tank Davis will defeat Subriel Matias to become the unified 135-pound champ later this year, and his detractors will still ask, who's he fought? Fact or fiction?
I would think the fight's going to get made, but they've been so reluctant to fight anybody. I don't know if it is going to happen or not. I really don't. I'm not a believer.
Oh, so you still have doubts, even though they're negotiating? Never the twain shall meet. Now, keep in mind, I don't think they've had a fight. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. I don't think they've had a fight together since Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury.
Well, it just doesn't matter, to be honest with you. It's just not. I just don't see it really. I don't see it happening. I have my doubts. Anything to do with PBC, I'm very negative on it. And for good reason.
Of course, for good reason. Now, it's funny. They even brought up in the post-fight press conference this past Saturday night, right, after he took care of business against Frank Martin, some member of the internet media said, well, part of that big money contract that you just got from PBC. And I forgot
what big money from PBC.
Exactly.
There's no money. There's no money there. What big money?
Yeah.
It's all hocus malocus. They're just trying to scare people off like he's got a contract with them, and he doesn't have a contract with them. He's technically a free agent. That's all.
Well, technically a free agent. That's it. Guys, that's the only reason why he's negotiating currently with Top Rank. But we'll see what happens, guys. Because can you see ESPN forking over the kinds of dollars that it would take to stage Tank versus Loma?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Because it's Tank Davis and Lomachenko, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, well, then that makes it a little bit more probable because, well, let's just face it. A necessity is the mother of invention. And I don't see where Tank would have very many other options in terms of, well, concerning PBC. Because in your mind, Rick, how do you think this pay-per-view actually performed on Saturday?
Very poorly, and especially considering David Benavidez was on the show too. I think it did very poorly, to be honest with you.
No, you know what, brother? That wouldn't shock me in the slightest because, well, let's just face it. You stated this. Well, we'll save that for tweets. But what did you think of his performance on Saturday night?
Well, everybody says he's got a high ring IQ. I don't see it. He doesn't throw any punches. Then late in the fight, he comes back and knocks the guy out. That doesn't show me high ring IQ. You know, guys with high ring IQs don't blow rounds.
Well, I'm sorry, you broke. Yes. I'm sorry. Let's go
a guy with high ring IQ doesn't blow rounds, give rounds away.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? This is now we're gonna go right into this now, sir. We're gonna go right into this. So let me do the intro. Real quick.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
And there it is. And there it is. You stated this on June 15th, right after the fight. You said, "Good job by Tank, but he better be great. He's got to be to beat. He has to be to beat back the stupidity of his new full-time lackey, Leonard Ellerbe." #boxing. Now, Rick, is that the case? Is Leonard Ellerbe now working full-time for Gervonta Tank Davis?
I don't know what the arrangement is, but he's definitely with him. I don't know what capacity. He could be.
Yeah, what could he be doing?
Cleaning. I don't know, handling baggage, cleaning toilets. I don't know, fetching him his food. I don't know. Leonard ain't capable. Leonard ain't capable of much.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, you know what, brother? Yeah, I don't understand what he'd be doing except the same thing that he did for Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, lackey shit.
Yeah. So realistically, where would you put Tank Davis? Now, do you agree with Ring Magazine that he is indeed in the top 10 pound for pound fighters at this time?
No.
¿Por qué, señor? Why?
Because he's not beat any household names, any big names. He hasn't attempted to unify. Who's he beaten? I mean, you're talking about Usyk beat Fury. Fury beat this guy and that guy, including Wilder. You're talking about Earl Spence. Terrence Crawford is a 2-division unified champion. Beat everybody that they put in front of him, and beat Earl Spence. You're talking about what's his name there, the Monster, unifying titles, undisputed in multiple divisions now, blowing everybody right out. You know, you're talking about Bam Rodriguez unifying titles, moving all over in weight and unifying titles, and he's not done any of that. Who's he fought? He just all they do is keep putting the same pigeons on with different names in front of them. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Where's the step-up fight? Is Loma going to be the step-up fight? If he blows Loma out, then he belongs in the top 10. Until that happens, he doesn't.
So you wouldn't agree with Tank or Paulie Malignaggi's sentiment when he says, "This is the best I've ever seen Tank Davis look"?
It may be, but that's not good enough to be in the top 10. There's no correlation there. Think about that.
And there it is. I tell you what, let's so if he doesn't fight Lomachenko, who do you think? Well,
let me ask you a question. Listen.
Yes, sir.
Listen, you're a very smart guy. You live in San Antonio.
Yes,
where you can go to 40 Italian restaurants in San Antonio, and where do you think they're going to have better food? In New York City Italian or in San Antonio Italian?
Oh, of course, New York.
and if they're going to if you're going to have Tex-Mex food, okay, or barbecue or any of that kind of stuff, where do you think it would be better? In San Antonio or New York? In San Antonio, right?
Of course.
You got the same. You got it's the same thing here. Let's use common sense.
That's an interesting analogy, and yeah, you know what? But we're talking about fight fans here, brother. Well, no,
Well,
well, I will say this. Our chat is the smartest on YouTube, and I stand by that, brother. But some other channels, yeah, common sense went out the window a long time ago. Went out the window with their wallet because they do not purchase pay-per-views.
mm.
And there it is.
Yeah.
And there it
Here,
is.
you want to know how the pay-per-view did the other night? I'll tell you how. I had 3 people that were complete strangers sent me a link, and one guy that was a friend sent me a link. I had 4 links sent to me. 3
My
of them
gosh.
were from strangers. Rick, you want a free link to the fight?
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says it all. That says
Yep.
it all.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Now, you want to hear the scary part?
Here it is. You watched it on the link.
None of them were the same link. There you go.
Oh my gosh. That is
Yeah.
pretty chilling. That doesn't bode well for the future of boxing. In your mind, I think you may be onto something. In fact, Adam Lopez is maybe joining us in a second as our Ed McMahon for tonight.
No, hold on. Which Adam Lopez? The one from California, Blue Nose, or the kid from Texas?
Montequilla, my former fighter, the one from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, he's gonna hopefully be our Ed McMahon.
Okay, I get my Adam Lopez's mixed up. I have to go by location.
Well, good reason. For good reason. They're both excellent fighters, both very entertaining in the ring, both very witty as well outside of it. But I will say this though, man. Once again, I think you're onto something. Adam stated this last time I talked to him about this dilemma affecting everyone within the business. And he said, well, you know what? He goes, I like Rick Glaser's comment the last time that said we had to go to closed circuit. And he goes, what do you think about featuring this at drive-ins? Wouldn't that be amazing to see this on a big drive-in screen, a big-time fight?
Well, that's great. But you want to be in a drive in the middle of the winter in Buffalo, New York? What the fuck? It might be all right in Texas, but not here.
I tell you what, drive-ins are still alive and well in the Lone Star State. There it is. I'll tell you what, let's go to our second fact or fiction, though, my friend. Fact or fiction, David Benavidez' inconsistent but winning performance against Alexander Gvozdyk was due to an excellent opponent in a new weight division, not his injuries suffered during camp. Fact or fiction?
I don't understand what the question is. What's the question?
Well, was his inconsistent performance due more to the level of opposition in the ring, his first fight at 175, or was it due to the injuries, multiple injuries apparently reported?
Neither. He's overrated.
David Benavidez is overrated.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, that brings us to our next, tweet from Rick Glaser. He said this immediately. He said this on June 16th, the following, later that morning. He said, David Benavidez is a very good all-around fighter, whether it's 168 or 175, but he was getting touched up from a 37-year-old that was far past it. A little leaky on the defense is my best summary. #boxing. Apparently, you feel it a little bit more strongly than that even. Now, you also stated this on June 16th.
He's a solid guy, but he's leaky on the defense, and he's inconsistent in the ring. 1 minute he's throwing a lot of punches, one round, next round he's going through the motions. I'm not impressed. I think that he would get blown out by Beterbiev. I'm not saying blown out like 1 or 2 rounds, but I think he gets ground down and stopped against Beterbiev. I think Bivol has the ability to outbox him. Whether he does or not is a different issue. But I'm sure that Beterbiev, whether he's 40 years old, almost 40 years old or not, I think he beat him.
Well, that's why I brought up the injury, Big Rick, because it's obvious, because he's never a fast starter. And he came out quickly out of the gate. And I think he wanted to try and close the show within the first 6 rounds. When that didn't happen, because he didn't have a complete training camp, obviously, because of those injuries. 1 was a cut over the eye. 2 were torn tendons in his right hand, from what he reported. And it's obvious that as soon as he realized he wasn't going to knock him out, he went into defensive mode, sitting on the ropes with the high guard. And Gvozdyk seemed to take over the fight. I thought it was 7-5, in my opinion, where I was scoring it.
It was
Your
close.
thoughts?
It was much closer than the judges had it. No question about it.
And also, how do you feel about them announcing him as the interim WBC light heavyweight champion?
I don't listen to announcers. They're morons.
Yeah, because
Well, they know about boxing. You can write about. You can write them. You know, they have no ingenuity. They just repeat what they read.
Yeah, well, our dear friend Iceman Scully, who's co-trainer for Arthur Peterbiev, the real WBC light heavyweight champion, had something to say about that. He said, "You know what? I can't stand this. This cheapens the product, confuses the fans, and it waters down the distinction of becoming a legitimate champion." Your thoughts on what Iceman John Scully said?
100%. I mean, it doesn't need John Scully to tell me that. Everybody feels the same way about that. I mean, that's not even a dispute.
So why did they do it, Rick?
The sanction fees and about money.
Oh boy. And there it is, guys. Right now, we're going to say hello to our dear friends in the chat. Anthony Mazzano. Hey, brother, how you doing? Once again, I'm going to disclose my email. I expect to see your information in my email later on this evening or tomorrow. He says, Joe and Rick, do you think Subriel Matias came into that fight against Paro unprepared, or his style was a bad matchup for Subriel?
No, he's just brain dead. He's got no. He's got his ring IQ is so low. Listen, I've said that for a while now. His ring IQ is so low that it doesn't even register. That's all. That was all that was about. If you have any brains and you got any foot movement, you beat that putz easy, Matias. He's way overrated.
I will say this. Boy, you're in quite the mood today, Rick. I love it. But I will say this. Liam Paro, I knew he was a smart fighter, crafty guy, very mentally and physically durable. So I knew getting him out wasn't going to be an easy task. But when he started stepping around him, and then very wisely, and no one's ever done this before to him, even when he lost before, no one had ever stepped into him and smothered his offense when he tried to let his hands go, never allowing him to get into rhythm. And he didn't excessively hold like Devin Haney. He seemed to be doing it like it. Forgive me for saying this, Rick, but he almost resembled a poor man's version of Joe Calzaghe on Saturday. What are your thoughts on that?
Who did?
Liam Paro.
I don't know about that. Let's not get too. A very poor version, a very poor man's version of Joe Calzaghe is one of the all-time greats. Come on. So I don't know. Joe, you're getting a little carried away. I know Halftime Pizza is the greatest pizza in San Antonio. Go Halftime Pizza. I got the plug-in for Halftime Pizza. But come on, mention Lem Paro the same breath as Joe Calzaghe today. Now, come to see me in 5 years, maybe. But don't mention it now, please.
Well, look, brother. That's why I gave the disclaimer. Hey, forgive me for saying this. And look, I'm just trying to give Subriel Matias a little bit more credit. But guys, at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to the stage for the very first time with Rick Glaser, the incomparable Adam Montequilla Lopez. Adam, how you doing tonight, sir?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, Adam?
What's going on, Rick?
Well, I tell you what, it's always a pleasure to feature you on this. Now, once again, Adam, what do you have to add to that? What were your thoughts on Liam Paro versus Subriel Matias?
I mean, I was doing Father's Day stuff with my dad. I watched like the first 6 rounds of it.
Hold it. This event was Saturday night. You're talking about Sunday. Don't confuse days now.
Yeah, no, but I was
Yeah.
too busy watching the tank fight, and I was like, all right,
Oh,
I'll watch the
okay,
replay in the morning. Caught
You
the
know what?
first
okay.
That's
6
right. They
rounds.
scheduled them. That's right. They scheduled them both for main events to come on at the same time.
Yeah, so I
Is
was
that a
like,
blunder?
kind of, yeah,
So I
it
don't
is a
understand
blunder.
that. I don't
No,
understand that.
no,
Go ahead, sir.
no. That's the zone doing that intentionally, so they can try to break PVC. So they do have less pay-per-view buys. It's all. It just fits in. No question.
Yeah, but when I watched it, I watched the first round, and usually Matias he starts out slow,
Shit.
and then just Liam just kept on just basically just pop shot in hold, pop shot in hold. It was a pretty slow paced fight from the first 6 that I saw, and he just kind of kept that up. And I don't know if Matias just couldn't get on a roll, or he just kind of folded on his big homecoming and believing all the hype around him. So I don't know if that was the case, but I mean he should have ran over the guy, but he didn't. And Parr was able to do things that he wanted to do, just keep the fight at his pace.
Rick, do you think the homecoming? Do you think Adam's right? Do you think it was the homecoming? Do you think the nerves got to
No,
him? Pressure?
no. It just the rooster came home and with having no fucking ring IQ, low, very 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 low ring IQ,
So
and that's
let
it.
me ask you then, Rick. Let me ask you then, brother. What is closer to the truth then? Subriel Matias was exposed for being a one-dimensional fighter, or Liam Perra was exposed for being a badass at 140.
It was a combination of both. I don't think he's a badass, but I think he's very good. But the other guy's way overrated. That's all there is to it.
Really?
So how would he fare against the other current titleists, which is Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Isak Pitbull Cruz?
I think he beats Cruz. I think he loses to Tiafimo, and I don't know what's left of Devin Haney after getting knocked down. Between 3 and 5 times, 3 times officially,
Yeah.
3 times officially, and 2 times unofficially. So I don't know what he's got left. So it's very hard to say.
So basically, that's contingent upon whether or not they have Harvey Dock as ref. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what a bad day at the office for a New Yorker, Harvey Dock. And there it is.
Yeah.
And there it is. Guys, welcome Outlaw to the show. JoJo and Rick, thank you for supporting always Big Rick on the show. Also, salute Joe and Rick. And he also says criticism on the audio. Hold on. Sounds like something chewing on the wires. I don't hear that. Do you hear that, Rick? Adam?
Nope, don't hear that at all.
No.
Well, we'll probably hear what he hears. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother Bruce, Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Always great conversation. Please subscribe to my brother Bruce. Also, Juice says this, Rick, I didn't see Benavidez lose a round.
He lost like
thoughts,
the
Rick?
last 3.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
Honestly, I didn't see him win a round in the final third of the fight.
Yeah, I said he didn't win. He lost the last 3.
Yeah.
At least. At
Yeah,
least.
that guy's in love with Benavidez.
What'd you guys think of the Nail's legs? Do you think he still had him under him?
Yes, I do.
Who's?
The Nail, Alexander Gvosdik. That's his
nickname. He was slower than he used to, but he still had his legs.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. That's it. Hard Times Boxing. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. Outlaw says, yeah, Fast Eddie having a bad month. I'd say so. Yeah. And Hard Time says, Rick, did anyone else think Gvosdik never really opened up on Benavidez? He seemed in shape, but never got into that final gear and threw repeated combinations.
He's 37 years old. I mean, come on, he's lucky he got the fight. Jesus Christ! If he wasn't with Canelo's manager trainer, he wouldn't have got the fight. Come on.
So here it is, final fact or fiction of the night.
Oh,
Rick?
again?
No,
Yeah.
come on. Yo, come on,
Let's
brother.
see.
Be a good sport. Yeah. Fact or fiction, Rick, and I didn't write this one down, but fact or fiction, Benavidez's inconsistent performance will lure Canelo Alvarez into accepting the
No,
highly anticipated
no,
showdown.
no, 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 no. Not at least for a while. You got Edgar Berlanga coming up, and you're going to have Crawford. So no, the answer is no.
And there it is. And there it
He's
is. I'll tell you what,
6'3". The other guy's 5'7.5". Come on,
with
what the
Spanish
fuck?
heels on.
Yeah,
And there it is, brother. And there it is. Chingao. But hey, we're gonna start and guys, we're gonna go back to this guys one
Maybe,
more time.
just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
hello.
There it is. There it is. Can you hear me, Rick?
Barely.
Okay. You can't. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Do I need to turn it up? Okay, here it is.
No.
Here, guys,
Turn it off.
this was on this was on June 16th at 7:01
Hello?
a.m. And he says this, Dave Benavidez. Okay. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm going to try this one more time. Rick said this, Dave Benavidez needs not to poke the bear and stay away from Arthur Beterbiev, despite being 39 years old. There's some very compelling reasons why Beterbiev is 20-0 with 20 knockouts and has been world champ for 7 years. Beterbiev is injury prone, but when he climbs through those ropes, he's 100%. Hashtag Montreal, hashtag boxing. Do you really think Benavidez goes for either one of those fighters, Bivol or Beterbiev? See, there's just not a ton of money in those matchups. Your thoughts, sir?
I don't know. It's the kind of situation where, Benavidez better stick to fighting guys he's been able to beat. The Ronald Ellis's and these wore out old guys and guys that aren't that good. He gets in with those elite guys like Beterbiev. Beterbiev might knock him out and hand him his head. I mean, it's a different league. I mean, that guy's so strong and punches, and he's got good defense, and just overall, he's just a good fighter. And I think he's more complete than Benavidez.
Look,
You know?
I think he's a great fighter. Honestly, I think both Bivol as well as Beterbiev are two all-time greats. Adam, your thoughts, brother, on what Rick just said?
Do you think that Benavidez should just stay at 68 and not go to 75?
I think he should. I thought he was very leaky on the defense the other night. I really didn't see that much at 68. He may be a tad slower, and that's causing it. He may be a little lazy at that weight, a little complacent. I don't know, but he didn't look that good to me. He looked better at 68 to me.
I was about to say the size difference from 68 to 75 was a huge
Those
difference.
7 pounds is huge.
It was gigantic. You could tell a huge difference. I was thinking that I was leaning towards maybe the nail was on his way out because he had took up 3 warm-up or tune-up fights to get into position to fight this fight. So I'm thinking maybe he's on his last leg, but he looked pretty good. And also, Benavidez doesn't have the power at 68 that he didn't bring that power up at all.
No,
because
those punches were bouncing off the nail like they didn't exist.
Yes, it was. And I was looking at it. I was like, he's still explosive at 75. He's still throwing good combinations, but the power is just not there at all. And I think that he should just stay away from that weight class. He didn't bring the power up at all.
No, he didn't.
No.
He didn't.
Adam, I just want to let you know I'm trying to be real nice tonight because a high class guy like you's on with us. That's why.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's better for the show if you just do you. That's the thing. Just go all out and just say what you want.
Just spoken like the champ that Adam Lopez is. He knows, brother. This is Rick. Make no mistake about this. This is your show. my friend.
I know,
You let it
but
fly, brother.
I'm trying to be nice because we got a classy guy on the phone with us and Adam. We don't get that.
Oh, Ching Tao. Brother, I resemble that remark. Oh, shit.
Yes,
Did I just say that?
yes, you do.
And there it is. There it is. Tell us how you really feel, Rick. But hey, Mini Meal, welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for supporting Rick. He says, Rick, Tank is a 30-year-old prospect. Your thoughts?
He's also recently been a 30-year-old suspect several times.
Oh, shit.
Damn, that was a good one. That was a good one.
What a way to break the ice there, Rick.
Prospect, suspect. He's 30 years old. It's all the same. Prospect and suspect.
So you're saying that Tank Davis is the Kaiser Soze of Baltimore?
I don't know. Let's put it. I don't know who Kaiser Sose is, but I will tell you this:
come on.
I don't know which I don't know which Tank's got more knockouts, title defenses, or arrests. I'm not sure.
Oh, Ching Gao, dude. Well, anyway, to all you cinephiles out there, that was a reference
The Usual Suspects.
to the great Usual Suspects. Yes, thank you, Adam. Ching Gao, Rick. Gosh, darn it, man.
Well, I mean, he can't be the Kaiser Soze because he got caught. He's been caught multiple times. Kaiser Soze never got caught.
Indeed, and well, maybe he's the Kevin Spacey though, brother, because he does like to beat up women.
One. That is.
He wears a purse.
That is true.
And they're just, look, dude, I don't want to get flagged again. Oh, hold on. I'll tell you about that after Rick exits the show because we only have about 12 more minutes with you, Rick. 11.
Yep. Yeah. Today I got to cut it short. I got a business problem that needs my dire attention.
Well, let's move on then. And you also stated this via tweet. This is once again Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Here it goes. 7:14 a.m. on June 16th. He said, I thought Gary Antoine Russell clearly won and was robbed. But that being said, he needs a real professional trainer, not his brother Gary Russell Jr. masquerading as a chief second. Needs to rethink the way he's going about this, including fighting only once a year, should be fighting 3 times a year for peak performance. Your thoughts, Rick, and would you like to expound on that? Because honestly, I thought that fight could have gone either way.
Yeah, I was a little harsh in the robbery, but I thought he won 7 out of 12 rounds plus the point deduction. That's 3 points. So I thought he won by 3 points. He lost a split decision. I was a little surprised. Put it that way to you.
Yeah. Look, Adam, how did you score that fight, brother, with your pops?
I scored that fight. I thought Gary won it by maybe 1 round. When I saw it,
yeah.
That's
what 7-5 is, 1 round difference, and it's because 1 round difference, and then the other one was the 1 point for the deduction. So that's what I had. 3 points, same as me.
When I first turned it on, I bought the pay-per-view. That was the first fight up, and Gary was up 5-2 on the unofficial scorecard, and he was doing pretty good. Puello was making a little bit of a run back. He was making a comeback, but then that point deduction, I was like, well, this is all in the bag. Like, he's got it, and then it ends up he lost, and I'm like, I don't really see it that way. But I had him winning at least by 1 round.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? What I want to know is, Rick, why don't they get prize fighters? Because Austin Trout brought this up to me last time I spoke to him. He said, it seems like a no-brainer that you would ask professional former prize fighters to become judges and work with the commissions. They could make some money and really contribute to the sport. Rick, why hasn't anyone else thought of this?
Because former fighters don't make good judges. They've tried over the years. Multiple guys, Billy Costello, Billy Graham, the list goes on and on. And they suck as judges. That's why.
Wow, that is crazy. You wouldn't think so. Why
Nah,
do you
they're
think that
bad.
is,
They're
Rick?
bad.
Why do you think that is?
Rocky Castellani was a judge. He was fair at best. The list goes on and on, guys. Yep.
Do you think it's because they know these guys? You think that's
I was
why?
about to
Nah,
say, is it
I don't
favoritism
know.
or is
I
it style wise? They have a
I just
particular
think they
style they
don't know.
like.
I just think they don't know. I'm going to explain something to you guys, and I want to get to the whole audience, okay? And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. There's a whole misnomer about something, okay? And I'm going to tell you what it is. There's no correlation between being a great trainer. I'm sorry, a great fighter, and being a great trainer, okay, or being a bad fighter and being a bad trainer. The truth of the matter is, some of your all-time great fighters sucked as a trainer, including Carlos Ortiz, who's in the Hall of Fame, who was a junior lightweight champ and lightweight champ. Um, the list goes on and on. Okay, Michael Moore tried to train fighters for a while. That didn't work out. The list goes on and on. Now, guys that were horrible fighters that were great trainers. You ready for this? Ray Arcel, all-time greatest trainer, probably never had gloves on except for winter gloves. Number one. Emmanuel Stewart, one of the all-time great trainers, only fought as an amateur, never fought as a pro. Wasn't even a great amateur. That's why he never turned pro. Okay. No, Lou Duva, 3-7 as a pro. Don Turner, 4-7 as a pro. I'm not saying Lou Duva was a great trainer, but he's at least a great corner man. Don Turner was a great trainer. He's 88 years old now, 87, but he was a great trainer. He wasn't a great fighter. There's no correlation between the two of them. And the same thing with judging. Just because a guy is a great fighter doesn't make him a great judge or a great referee. There's no correlation. I never had gloves on, but nobody can doubt my expertise. If they do, they're fucked up. Okay, that being said, here I am. Continue.
Woo! Tell you what, Rick, that was great. That was great. What do you do
It's
for
pretty
encore,
good,
brother? Yeah. That was very well said.
Adam, how do you feel? Adam, how do you feel about what I just said?
I'm a big proponent of exactly what you just said. I mean, you think about like probably one of the greatest trainers ever. Freddie Roach was considered a journeyman.
Oh yeah, at best. At best he was a journeyman. Correct.
And he's created, yeah.
Right. And Robert Garcia, he was a world champ just for a shot in the day and a shot in the night, and he's a great trainer too. So it's absolutely true. There is no correlation between the two of them.
And there it is.
Yeah, I was thinking. I wanted to like elaborate on what you think it actually takes for a great trainer, because you see a lot of guys that have very minimal experience.
It takes three things that besides being able to teach. It's not making everybody fight your style that you fought. You take their best attributes and you make them have their own style. Too many trainers, too many ex-fighters want the guy to fight like him, and it's not suited for that guy. That's the first big mistake. The second thing is you need a lot of patience, and most former fighters don't have a lot of patience.
Yeah, I have
Just
zero.
what the facts are. Okay, most of them have zero. Okay, or close to it. Here's the third thing. Okay. Every fight, 9 out of 10 fighters are disgruntled about their career. Okay. And they sit there and they tell the fighter, all these negativities about boxing. Fighters don't want to hear that. They're trying to forge their own career. Just because your career was fucked up, don't bring that on them. And too many of these ex-trainers do that.
In what aspect of that? Like, do they just tell them like the bad business side of everything, or
this promoters robbing you, the manager's taking too much money. How much did your manager pay the cut man? Oh fuck, I would have did I can get a guy for 200. Why did he pay you 500 out of your purse? And they impede their brain with bullshit. That's the That's a big problem. It happens. There's three famous trainers like that. that are well known, well respected, and they're Hall of Famers, and they're all like that. Okay, so
Wow.
people don't have to tell me. Okay,
And they inject.
I'll tell you a good one. So
Okay, go.
I'm not going to mention any names. Not going to mention a promoter's name. No names. I don't want to piss. I piss enough people off every day, but by accident. I don't need to do it intentionally. So here goes. A fighter was fighting for the world title, and the promoter promised him 5 airline tickets, 2 in first class and 3 in coach. Okay, well, business class, because the fight was overseas. Okay, and it's called business class. Well, the manager and the trainer took the manager and the fighter took the 2 seats in first in the business class, and in coach were the 3 guys that worked the corner, including the trainer, the cut man, and a third person in the corner. You ready for this? All the way since he found out he was sitting in coach and the manager was sitting in what he called, he motherfucked the manager the whole time and got in the fighter's ear. Well, fuck, I didn't sit in first class. He called it first class. It was actually business class, but he was all over the fighter. Pa 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 pa. Never stopped. Okay, never stopped. Okay, and he was, you just can't satisfy everybody, and these a lot of these trainers that are ex-fighters are disgruntled, and this guy was an ex-fighter himself, and he was disgruntled, and he's always throwing why am I in the gym every day when you get 10% and your manager's getting 30%, and he comes around once a month and shows up and takes a seat at ringside for the fight, and you're giving him 30%, and I'm only getting 10, and they just cause too much trouble. It's chaos.
Yeah.
Well, and there it is, guys. With only 3 minutes left to go, let's try and speed through these questions real quick. Rick, is this the last PBC show, Rick?
No, it won't be the last one, but it's close. Amazon Prime being in or out depends on if they're satisfied with the pay-per-view buys, but I think it didn't do well, so we'll see.
And there it is. And click clack. Welcome to the show. Sorry, he says Rick, Endeavor is still buying Top Rank. Also, who can clean jock straps better? Steven Espinosa or Leonard Ellerby?
Close. No, Endeavor's not buying it, and the other thing is Leonard and Steven Espinosa. I give Steven Espinosa a little more credit for education and overall brains, but it's pretty close in reality.
Yeah, and there it is. Sid UK, welcome to the show. Sorry, he says Kaiser Sosa had a genius brain. Tank definitely ain't that.
No,
I agree with that. I agree.
No.
Hold on, brother. My apologies. Window just popped up. Hold on. And there it is. And Minnie Mill says, hey, always fun to have Rick on the show. Yes, sir. Mark Blake, good evening to you, sir. Thank you for supporting Big Rick on the show. And then G Vuggy says, Rick, my theory is great athletes have something that can't be taught, and that is instincts, and that is why they don't make good coaches or trainers. Your thoughts on that?
That's true too. That's true too. There was no question. Listen, I heard a good line the other night from somebody in boxing. The smartest thing about Tank's the girlfriend that keeps having him arrested.
Oh shit, dude! Wow. Well, I tell you what, it looks like we're at the line.
I'll see you next Monday.
Adam,
Adam, come back next Monday, okay? Hello.
And there it is.
Okay.
There it is. Thank you, Big Rick. We appreciate it, my friend. God bless you, my friend. And there it is, guys. That was Big Rick Glaser. Tell you what, guys, if you missed any part of the show, you can just rewind. But I tell you what, Adam, while we have you here, my friend, let's talk some turkey, brother. And not Turkey LL Chic.
Let's go.
Let's go through this pay-per-view and get your thoughts now that we're one-on-one. Excuse me. Tank Davis. Now, I posed this question, and this is the title of the show. Is Tank Davis a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter after what you saw against Frank Martin on Saturday?
Top 3 pound for pound? No, not top 3, but top three lightweight. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, He's not top three because he loses rounds. Like he was losing the fight. He was losing the fight, but we all knew it in the back of our minds. Like he was closing the distance between Frank Martin, and he was hitting him with good shots. It was just a matter of time. It was just like how I think we all saw it going down. Frank Martin was doing very, very good. He was countering very fast, very twitchy, but he was just letting Tank just cut the distance off, just walking him down. He was basically just going from corner to corner to corner to corner the whole fight, and you knew it was just a matter of time where Tank was going to go. Frank Martin did have some whiskers on him for like the first few rounds, and I was very impressed with him until he just got caught. He got caught with the big shot, and he knew it was over.
Yeah, well, look. In my opinion, this is the reason why I pose that question, because I think he's at least top five. And here's why. And if you're criticizing whether or not he gives away rounds, well, Terrence Crawford, unless he's fighting Errol Spence Jr., customarily does the same thing. In fact, in his fight against Sean Porter, his trainer, Bomac, even thought he was losing the fight going into the 10th. In my opinion, all's well that ends well, right? In boxing, all's well that ends well. Just win, baby, in the immortal words of Al Davis. But here's why. I was really surprised that Frank Martin is not an effective aggressor. He's a guy that customarily uses an opponent's effective aggression or not so effective aggression against him. And he will exploit their weaknesses by spinning around him, working behind a very strong lead hand. And his footwork is indeed the foundation of his defense. Now, knowing that, I was a bit surprised that Tank chose to, because he's customarily a counterpuncher by trade, he chose to take the lead in this, cutting off the ring and closing the distance effectively. And I thought he did it extremely well. I was surprised. And then he has that one-hitter quitter. He is arguably the best pound-for-pound puncher in boxing. Devastating. And I thought he showed a very, very high ring IQ, setting traps for him consistently. After he figured out and found range, after round 5 or 6, you knew it was all over. And Frank Martin knew it too. In fact, he really looked befuddled, like he didn't know what to do. And this is a gentleman with a very deep amateur background. And Frank Martin had no idea. Maybe the moment got the better of him because it's his first stint on the big stage. But I think it had more to do with Tank Davis. In my opinion, guys, and it's just my opinion, Tank Davis is at least a top 5 pound-for-pound guy. In my opinion, I have Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford, and I don't consider Alexander Usyk because I don't consider heavyweights. Canelo Alvarez, Arthur Beterbiev, and then Tank Davis. That's my top 5. Who would you consider top 5, sir?
I don't know. That's a pretty good top 5. That's the thing though. I would put Usyk as in there, even though I know it's your preference that heavyweights because they're the biggest ones. But I mean, the skill of Usyk is
sick.
What we should be going.
Yeah.
We should be going based off.
He's an all-time great. Yeah. Well, look, and here's the reason why. And it's usually
not the
a given.
size, just the skill.
Yeah, it's usually the given, right? That the best heavyweight on the planet is going to be the best fighter in boxing because of the size, the skill, the power, everything. And Usyk is definitely that. He's already proven that. So that's boom. That's in a category of its own. So pound for pound means regardless of weight, skill, everything, power comes together.
Yeah, but then if we're just saying, but if we're, but that's what we're just saying, like pound for pound.
Are you there, sir?
The heavyweight should be the best fighter, but pound for pound,
You're breaking up really badly, man. Can you guys hear Adam? Adam, are you still there, sir? Guys, I can't hear Adam. I can hear his screen door opening and shutting. And there it is. And there it is, guys. I can't hear Adam either. Look, while we're getting Adam more better situated, let's consult Sid UK. And once again, Jay, we're gonna get your thoughts on pound for pound as well. And thank you for joining us, sir. Sid UK says Canelo, Beterbiev, Usyk, Crawford. Those are my top 4 pound for pound. Tank ain't better than any of them resume wise. Well, look, guys, I really don't. Once again, resumes. Now, I guess you could apply this and scrutinize Tank Davis because he is one of the biggest draws in boxing domestically in the domestic USA. And so for that, you can criticize his resume, but I don't even like interjecting resume on this because your resumes are contingent upon opportunities received. And if you're not a big ticket seller, you're not going to have a lot of skins on your resume. That's just, once again, that's not just opinion, that's fact. But with that said, once again, I don't count heavyweights on pound for pound, but that's just my preference. But Crawford, Beterbiev, Canelo, I can't argue with that except for Inoue. I think he is number 1 or 2, arguably. That's just my opinion. But you know what? Can't go wrong with that, brother. Jay, he says Hank is top 3 or maybe top pound for pound, potentially. But he has to prove himself fighting champions. So if he stays at 35, what champions or what other fighters at 35 beat him? Because right now, I can't see it. I can't see it with his brand of power and his deceptively high ring IQ. Keep in mind, guys, his amateur record was, I think, something like 212 wins and 5 losses in the amateurs. That is extremely impressive, guys. In my opinion, no one beats him right now at 35. Adam, do you think anyone beats him at 35?
Lomachenko 7 years ago, probably. But,
yeah. Well, 7 years ago, Lomachenko was a 130 pounder.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't want Lomachenko. I'm a very, very huge fan of Lomachenko. My German Shepherd is named Loma, and I really don't want. I don't want Loma to fight Tank because I fear that it's going to end badly.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, brother. This does not end well for Vasyl Lomachenko if they do indeed fight. And in my opinion, guys, I think ESPN actually does the about face, and they actually pay to see Tank Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko on their network. I think PBC is finished after the numbers finally come in, and I'll get the numbers tomorrow, guys, because in my opinion, I don't think this pay-per-view did well. I think it did well if you're counting the illegal streams.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people saw it, but I don't think it sold well. In fact, I'd be very surprised if it sold better than 250,000. I'd be shocked. So in my opinion, this fight happens on ESPN next for both men. I think it happens in September or October. That's what I think. And it happens out of necessity because I think PBC is done. I think they're done. I think they're done like a cheap steak. What say you, Adam?
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing. It's like I feel like they're done, and I feel like here on out, every PPC fighter is gonna have to fight a meaningful fight, an actual tough fight, because what else did they got? They don't have no backing. They have nobody pulling strings to make sure they have cakewalks anymore. It's almost at the end of the road. You have Turkey Al Sheikh making people fight life and death fights because that's what the people want. The market now is demanding that these guys actually fight each other, and that's what they want. And it's almost kind of this problem of the whole Floyd Mayweather Zero things. should solve itself, because you can't say these guys aren't great fighters if they have a loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
and that's better for the sport. For the health of the sport, it's better that way.
indeed. Yeah, we need to get back to that healthy era of boxing in which if you're going to receive big money, then damn it, you need to participate in big time fights.
Yeah.
That should be the norm.
It's probably healthy for the fighter also, because the whole like facade of having the 0 on the record and then it going away really hurts the fighter, and the fighter gets down on himself. The fighter loses confidence. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like, I lost a unanimous decision. Fuck that. I'm gonna win the next one. You win the next 12, and that loss is even no one ever brings it up.
Yeah, you know what, guys? The days are finished. And look, I am so happy to report that the strong influence that we're still trying to shake this thing from of Floyd Mayweather Jr. is slowly but surely pretty much almost gone, guys.
Yeah. His influence is
Thank
dying down.
God. Yep, it's minimal at best at this time.
People now you have every fighter attacking him. Tank's like, yeah, he's a bitch. This, that.
Yeah.
You got fucking
It's coming from a guy who wears a purse.
Yeah, and you have Shakur being like, dude, your daughter is sucking all this dick. And like, dude, like that's insane to tell Floyd Mayweather that, but that just shows that the lack of respect that these young fighters actually have for him, because he's treating these guys badly. He's just fucking like, he's getting into petty shit, like just throwing the sparring videos out there for every guy that he doesn't like. His gym is like Epstein's house and P. Diddy's house. They got video cameras everywhere. They just go drop a video whenever he feels like it. Yeah, like,
oh my gosh, his video's like Epstein's house.
Yeah, his gym is like Epstein's house. There's video cameras in every part of the room. They say no phones, no phones, no phones. Dude, he's videoing it so he can blackmail you later. So he can tell you. So if they're saying, if he gets in a beef with you, I'm gonna release the sparring where you don't look that bad, but I feel like you did bad. It's like, shut up, dude. It's sparring. I watched that video of Tank and Haney sparring where they said, "Oh yeah, he went off. Haney went off." Dude, he hit Tank right in the face where Tank wasn't even looking. Still didn't hurt Tank. That was more embarrassing for Haney, and he couldn't even rock him.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. And once again, that showed the cowardice and the bully mentality of Devin Haney. So once again, you're not going to get any sympathy from me, Devin Bill Haney, for, hey man, just see what he did to me. It always reminds you of that scene in Casino, right? Where he goes, he catches that dude with the buzzer, basically giving away the cards, right? Giving away the hand.
Yeah.
And, he's like, after cheating, Robert De Niro's character, right? Rothstein takes him into the back and smashes his hand. And as soon as he walks in, you see what he did to my hand, man?
You can either have the money or you can have your hands.
But you can't have both. Yep.
You can't take both. What are you going to take?
I'll take. Dude, I'm not taking the hammer. Dude, one of Martin Scorsese's greatest movies. But nonetheless, guys, that shows you what a fraud Bill Haney is. He's a terrible trainer. And he's just, once again, we told you guys on this channel that all of that, were you the middleman for the drugs, Floyd? All that crap. That was a smokescreen to try and deflect the real dilemma for Devin Haney. His dad. He's a terrible coach and not so smart manager either. No, once again, credit to him for getting all that money, those inflated purses. But look, he cannot teach. That's why you've seen a round robin of trainers, a carousel of trainers working with Devin Haney. And then when it comes time to fight night, Bill Haney wants to take the credit and become chief second.
Yeah.
And once again, he's not too smart before the fight to take that 3.2 pounds and 1.5 million and let Ryan Garcia come into the fight without having to kill himself to make 140. Pretty stupid if you ask me. But guys, going back to Jay's comment. Yeah, I think Tank Davis. I don't think anyone beats up at 135. And in my opinion, at 140, the only guy who has a legit chance of beating Tank Davis is Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion. Teofimo Lopez. That's it. Because, look, Tank's power is real, guys. And his skill set. He's got a very high ring IQ, deceptively high. That's my opinion, guys. Your final thoughts on that before we go to the co-main event?
Final thoughts. You kind of ahead. I do feel like Teofimo is the only guy at 140 that can beat him. We already know Devin Haney gets shut out. He gets knocked out.
Flattened.
Yeah, that will be the end of his career if he fights Tank.
Yep.
Ryan Garcia, we already saw that. Subriel Matias. I didn't know he was that old. I didn't know he was 32.
Yep. Well,
Didn't
tell you what. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Subriel Matias. No, he's not the guy.
No.
Barra,
I said final thoughts on Tank Davis before we move forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're right. That's the only guy that I feel like could beat him, Teofimo. And final thoughts. I don't know. You guys make very strong argument for him being top 5 pound for pound. You know, I have to look back and look at the list of the top guys pound for pound. I think if Bam beats Gaio Estrada, he should be top 5 pound for pound because his resume is very, very good and his skill is that. But I don't know, guys. I think you guys may be onto something with him being top 5 pound for pound. He has knocked out everybody. He hasn't fought champions. I get that. That's a knock on him. But other than that, he's destroyed everybody he's fought. So
okay, final question on Tank, Adam.
yes.
If he knocks out Vasily Lomachenko in his accelerated age,
Yes.
does that really prove anything for Tank?
Nothing that we didn't already know. That we already knew he could knock out anybody, and it is an old Lomachenko. It would be very, very sad. I wouldn't want to see that. I don't think that's nothing I want to see.
Well, unfortunately, we very well may get it. And this is top-ranked Bob Arum. Hey, you know what, Lomachenko, you've done good, but we're going to cash your ass out.
They've already done it the last few times, letting Devin win. Yeah, they've already cashed out on him a few times. They let Teo win and they let Devin win. And it's just like, you're already kind of seeing that he doesn't draw anybody. I know that much. We love him because we're diehards and we love the whole beauty of it all. He is the guy that started the whole footwork thing, the whole stepping to the side and getting at different angles. You could also say Chocolatito was that guy, but Lomachenko made it that much more exciting to where it was beautiful to watch him. But
indeed,
they've cashed him out because they knew he wasn't a draw.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what. Look, you can argue that he was a bigger draw than Devin Haney when they fought. Because correct me if I'm wrong, the great majority of the crowd there was rooting for, in Haney's hometown, was rooting for Vasily Lomachenko.
Yeah, because Haney is the most unlikable person in boxing history. No one likes him. And the crazy thing about him, he's a good fighter, good skill, but he is such a bore. This guy is a bore. He's got no personality, nothing. He's a Mayweather copycat. We've already seen that. And it's like, dude, you're boring. I don't want to see you.
Well,
you're boring.
And I would say a face only a mother could love, but yeah, she took off too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, did I say that on the air? I'm sorry, guys. Click clack says, "Hey, how are you feeling? I thank you for asking, brother. I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging in there. Thank you for asking. You might have a bad stomach, but your balls are steel. Thank you, brother, for noticing, because I am here for you guys this evening, and I'm even doing the overtime with Adam Lopez because you guys are awesome, and I am here for you. And this is always the best part of my day. And there it is. There it is. So thank you for asking, Click Like. It means a lot to me, brother. CDK says, PBC was a stolen roster funded by stolen money and fronted by a bald-headed fool called Mayweather. It was doomed from the start and ruined many careers.
Facts. Sid UK.
I can't see anything wrong with what he said.
Yeah, nothing. No,
I
it's still
can't-
the whole Golden Boy roster. This is the what do you call it? The what's that whole thing with the goddamn Roosters? The Roosters
Yeah.
will come back, throw or what the fuck? Goddamn.
Oh my gosh.
The chicks on the roost or some shit. That's
Yep.
what's happening right now.
Yep. That's
what's
it.
happening
That's
right
it.
now. It's coming in full circle, and the exact same thing they did to Golden Boy is happening to them. They're having the
And
fire.
there it is. There it is, brother. I can't debate that either. I can't dispute that. Outlaw says, and welcome. Thank you, Sid UK, for your opinion, brother. We appreciate it, man. Always love your insight. As I said, Adam, on our last show, I'm very proud of our chat, and I will put them up against anyone else's. I truly believe with my heart that we have the most intelligent fight fans in our chat every single time we go on the air. And I stand by that, guys. Outlaw, and he says, Mayweather hurt boxing in many ways. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have never seen so many businessmen in this sport at one time. They all want that bag, and they all want to get it with the by way of the road of least resistance. And it's sickening. And it's not good for the sport. Not good for the sport. Top Mexican, welcome to the show, sir. Why was Floyd holding Tank's hand back? Because he could.
Yeah.
Now, once again, he was a good ticket seller, became a great ticket seller, right? And when you have a top-level attraction, Floyd learned this from Richard Jefferson. Promotions 101, protect your ticket sellers. And he wanted to keep everything in-house. And why? Because he could. He knew he would sell a lot of tickets and have good ratings on Showtime whenever Tank fought, regardless of who he fought. But now that Tank has grown accustomed to making some real life-changing bread, he has to fight someone who's going to move the needle. Because when these numbers come in, and they're not going to be favorable, guys, even with a guy like Benavidez in the co-main event, yeah, it's time. Just like Canelo. Hey, man, sorry. Everyone wants to see you fight person X, fighter X. And if you still want to demand that huge guaranteed purse, you're going to have to fight. And you're going to have to march to the fans' bidding, the real bosses of boxing. That's it. So that's it. Floyd, and like most fans will see, holding Tank back, but all because he could. Promotions 101. Protect your ticket sellers. That's it. That's it. Once again, am I stating anything that's incorrect, Adam?
No, you're saying the exact same thing. I mean, you're saying something extremely correct. I mean, he got used to everybody just babying him, and then guess what? They're still thinking that format right now, and fighting the least not as great
Path of
competition.
least resistance. Yep.
Yes, path of least resistance. Sorry.
Well, yeah, tell you what, after these numbers come in, that's not going to be an option any longer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Plus, without PBC protecting him and everything, without that money behind him, he's gonna have to fight somebody.
But look, guys, make no mistake about this. Tank, against any 35-pounder in the world right now, beats their ass. Williams and Peta knocks his ass out. The toughest fight for Tank Davis at this time will be Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur is a special fighter. But if you can't, Frank Martin just showed this, if you can't earn Tank Davis's respect and keep him from walking through the front door, you've got a problem. If you can't hurt Tank Davis, you've got a problem. Sorry. That's it.
Do you think Shakur has the power to stop him or to hurt him at least?
No. Shakur?
Yeah.
Look, man. I mean, look, if he thought what's his face from Dominican Republic? What was his name? Edwin De Los
De
Santos.
Los Santos, yeah.
If he thought that dude was hard, a hard puncher, and if he was afraid to sit in the pocket and trade with Edwin De Los Santos, you really think he's going to get bold when faced with Tank Davis?
No, he's gonna run. He's gonna make it as soon as you think he's gonna make it a snooze fest.
Hell yes. He's gonna make it a personal victory by just going the distance with Tank.
Yeah, that's the only way you go the over. You go the over for sure on that fight.
That's it, guys. That's it. So I don't see anyone beating him at 35. I don't. And at 40, I think Teofimo Lopez is the only guy. But I tell you what, another from Top Mexican. Thank you for sticking with us, brother. I appreciate it. He says, I'm a bit disappointed in Elijah Garcia. What say you? Is he the truth? Well, look, if he's going to become the truth, he needs to get a real trainer and a professional team behind him, because I'm sorry, that's just unacceptable at this level. Adam, your thoughts, brother?
I watched that fight too. I don't know if it was Top Mexican that was the one that was kept on talking about him, Elijah Garcia, and I was like, let me take a look at him, because I had seen him before, and he did really good. And I was like, let me see it again. And they were like, Kyron Davis is very, very good.
He's crafty, very good counterpuncher.
Yeah, very experienced, like a journeyman. And they were like, he's very good. He's a tough. This is going to be a tough outing, and he did kind of use just kind of a little bit just too much activity, and Elijah Garcia was kind of plodding forward a little bit. He had good combinations, but he just didn't have the right game plan at all. He wasn't even staying in his chest. He was just mid-range the whole time, and that's all that Kyron Davis needed the entire time, and he didn't even change one time. It was still like, and also the bad part too about him. He's not a bad fighter. It's just he's very young. He's 21. The one thing that I didn't like about him too was he had that Gilberto Ramirez pace. That one speed that it stays from round 1 to round 12. Yeah, he's got that one pace, that one same speed. And for the 8 rounds that he went, or 10 rounds, it was legit that one same speed. There was no urgency at all, even being told when he was down, and he still just went that same speed. And I was like, that's not good for being so young. You should have a little bit more energy.
I agree. I agree with everything that you just said. And you know what? Can he be the truth, though, Top Mexican? Yes. Very naturally gifted fighter. A lot of charisma. Heavy-handed. But he needs a new trainer. Because I'm sorry, he's at the point where he should be ready for the championship level. You've already gone through the 4, 6, and 8 round stages. That's what promoters, you should, every fighter should add those new wrinkles during those stages. Now that he's past that stage, yeah. He's it doesn't seem that he's really learned very much. And I will say this, though. It really doesn't help when your team doesn't get you in the best position to win either. That's why I'm saying there's a lot he needs to do. Can he be the truth? Yes. Is he right now? Hell no. Hell no. Well, we're running out of time, Adam. I want to get your thoughts on the co-main event of the evening. Once again, guys, if you didn't know, if you listened to the show last week, me and Adam, we told you guys that he had a cut over his eye, and that was going to be a big difference in the fight. That may be a big difference in the fight, if it even still was allowed to go on. Obviously, Nevada State Athletic Commission, they allowed it to happen. And David, with all the money at stake and with everything on the line, he said, you know what? Let's do it. What I didn't know was that he also tore ligaments in his hand during camp. That would explain a lot. In my opinion, that's a reason why he started unusually fast. Because usually it takes him a minute to find his range. He came out guns a-blazing, trying to get his guy out really, really early.
Yeah.
And when that didn't happen, well, he just went in autopilot, right? Thinking that, okay, I've already won 6 or 7 rounds. Let me just put it in coast, and I'll just make it to the finish line because I didn't have a great camp. that would explain a lot why they kept insisting to me. Oh, well, even though he's got a cut, man. Oh, well, he looked great during camp. He was just mowing through every. Well, that would explain a lot. That was a smokescreen. Guys, when you start that quickly, and this is a guy who customarily has a great gas tank. Have you ever seen him gas like that before the 7th round?
No, I've never.
And this is in a weight division where he didn't have to kill himself to make weight.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you, don't look too far into this performance because he didn't. It's obvious now he didn't have a good camp. Adam, how difficult is it to fight at 100%? Now, fighters just have to fight through ailments. That's a fact. Okay. And you know what? And once again, Jesse James Leha, our friend, told me this. Hey, you know what? If I'm 100% going into a fight, I think that there's something wrong. Because I usually think that I didn't get the most of myself during camp. I didn't work hard enough if I'm 100%. So pretty much every fighter at this level goes into every fight with some kind of ailment, but not a cut eye and definitely not torn ligaments in your hands. In my opinion, I think that had everything to do with his performance on 75. Now, Adam, do we see a very different David Benavidez his next time out, even at 175?
I think so. I mean, you can't really say that he looked bad because he looked very good for the first 8 rounds. The first 9 rounds, he looked really, really good. He was very explosive. Combination punching was still there. The speed was still there. Just the power wasn't. He didn't really carry the power up to the 175. You could see a big size difference in the nail between him and the nail. You could see the difference. And when I was telling everybody all week, I was like, I think it's going to be a mid-round stoppage. And then as soon as I didn't take into consideration, that's why I like to listen to you guys, the chat. You guys bring up good points. I didn't even take into consideration that this is his first fight at 75, and will his power even carry into the new weight class?
Yep.
I didn't even think of that at all. And
in my opinion, though, Adam, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give him a pass because if you have an injured hand that more than likely is going to require surgery, are you going to be letting it fly as hard as you can? Now, once again, he may have started doing that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he did it for all 6 rounds. You didn't see him step into it. You never saw him do that. At least I never did.
No, I didn't see it either. I saw him. He was step on the gas a little bit with the combination punching, but I never really saw him step into with the power. And you know what? You brought it. That kind of brings up a good point. He really didn't dig to the body like he usually does. Did they specify which hand was hurt?
The right.
The right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, his left is his best punch. His left to the body is his best punch. But yeah, I didn't really see him dig to the body that much. It's kind of hard too. I've gone through hand injuries. It is kind of hard too, though, concentrate when you do have a hurt hand, and you don't really want to feel like your hardest with both hands because it's just painful and it's bothersome.
You know what? It's tough to say. The only thing I will say is that, yeah, guys, I'm going to give him a pass. Okay? The truth, the verdict is still out, in my opinion, on how he fares at 175. In my opinion, he needs to heal up, take some time off. And once again, he might be forced to take that time off because, yeah, he might have, more than likely, he's going to need surgery on that right hand. In my opinion. I'll find out more, though, guys, as soon as I do. But hey, anyone who thought I was just blowing smoke with the cut over the left eye.
That was 100% true, yeah.
You can kiss my big brown behind. That's all I'm saying. Once again, guys, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? Right? What do I have to do before you guys start believing me? Chingao. Sid UK says this. Dade won and he's still young. Did great and should stay at 168 for another year, in my opinion. Well, we'll see if he can. We'll see if he can. Once again, we found out that he didn't even work with Memo Heredia in this camp. I'm going to make some phone calls and find out why. Does anyone know? Adam, do you know why?
Say it again.
Do you know why Memo Heredia wasn't even in his camp this time?
I'm guessing because he's a cheater, dude. He didn't want to get some pot for some ostrich, some ostrich.
Yeah, some ostrich.
You want to get popped for that, dude. That's what happened.
Hey, man, what did you think of Ryan Garcia's shirt on Fight Night?
I'm so confused on him. Like this guy, when he beats Devin Haney, and he is ahead. He's a superstar at this point. We love him for him being about God, a conspiracy theorist, this and that, and just being himself, and him being like, yeah, I had the greatest publicity stunt of all time in boxing history. And we're like, dude, we love you for it. And then he just goes, yeah, I had sex with Caleb Plant's wife. And we're like, dude,
oh my gosh, I knew you were going to bring that up, Adam. Oh,
what jeez. Are you doing? Like, stop this, dude. Like, even if you did, you don't need to say anything. And I don't even get the beef between him and Caleb Plant. It's like, stop doing this. You're self-sabotaging yourself now. Now I can't get behind you, and I don't think a lot of people can get behind you. And it's making people upset at you. So just like knock it off, bro. You need to fucking stop.
Oh, Chingao. Yeah, that was below the belt, brother. And I'm not talking about Jordan Plant. I'm talking about his comments about Caleb. Yeah, Caleb's wife.
Dude, it's like, bro, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. I'm pretty sure that she didn't do that. But
yeah, because when did that happen, actually? When Ryan was 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Chingao.
It's like,
come on, dude. Come on.
It's like, okay.
When you're a part of the Mickey Mouse Club? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dude, you need to just fucking stop. Knock it off. I didn't like that Caleb threw a drink at him. That was kind of like, okay.
Well, dude, that's what Caleb does. Look what he tried to do with Canelo.
Yeah.
Tried to sucker punch him and smack him, right?
He smacked
at the press conference. And you know what? Yeah. He got countered beautifully. And that was a great premise or a precursor to that fight. I loved it. But that's what Caleb does. He's a punk. He's a punk, dude. He's from the Appalachian Mountains. Come on, dude. No offense to anyone. No. I need to add this because I don't look. I was flagged, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be honest. I was flagged, guys. In the last episode that I was on the air last Friday with Adam Lopez, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was because of all of my commentary regarding the big Asian heavyweight.
Are you serious? That?
Well, it had to be something offensive because that's what I was flagged for.
Yeah, that for saying he's Oriental descent. Oh my God!
No, dude. So I have this to say about it, guys.
Yeah.
I have this to say. Now, please, I mean this sincerely. Quarter pounder with cheese, the rocks. Guys, if you think, I know, yeah, frick, frack, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. Layout. Okay, you know what? If you guys think that I'm going to actually curtail what I say on this program, do you think I do this for the money? No, I don't. So if you think I'm going to hold anything back from being flagged, once again, I've got some oceanfront property to sell you in San Antonio. There it is. Now, who else can I offend? You want to offend some alphabet people right now? Adam, what did you think of Tank's purse during the fight? He looked like a bitch, didn't he?
Did he wear purse?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to piss off as many people as I can right now. Jeez. That really pissed me off, guys. Now, in order to be flagged, it has to be someone who listened to the program. And I know it's not someone who's in the chat right now. Chihuahua.
It was Lou Duva. It was Lou Duva and his terrible.
No,
pick.
you know what, dude? He can kiss my ass. Lou
We got
Duva.
I wish Lou Duva
Chingao.
back. He picked the nail, and it was really bad.
Yeah, so he can kiss my ass. Anyway, Sid UK says, that Victor Guerrero kid is someone I would respect as a Christian, and I'm Muslim. God bless you, my friend. And once again, guys, I hate to tell you this, but we all share the same God. We have one God looking over us. So grow up, and once again, respect everyone on this planet. Right?
Inshallah.
Now,
Inshallah.
that once again, that doesn't mean that I can't do some voices in my time on this show. With my time with you guys, that doesn't mean I can't do voices. It's all in good fun. And if you get offended, why the hell are you watching boxing anyway? That's all I'm going to say. But yes, I respect what you're saying, Sid UK, and you've got the right beat. You're a great fan and a great person. And I stand by that. With that said, Chinese power. Ooh. Liu Kang wins. Woo! Tell you what, you're not gonna muzzle me, brother. That's all I have to say. Alberto, welcome to the show, sir. He said, Joe, key takeaways from the pay-per-view Saturday night. And brother Sid says this.
Inshallah.
There it is. There it is. God bless you, my friend. We love you here, Sid. Alberto says this. Key takeaways from the pay-per-view Saturday night. We'll start with Adam Lopez's Montequia's key takeaways from Saturday night.
I think it was a pretty good pay-per-view card, to be honest. I really enjoyed the all really good matchups. Elijah Garcia, I was pretty decent. I thought I was gonna see something more explosive from him, but it's a learning process, learning experience. The Gary Russell and the W.A.W card, that fight was very good. I enjoyed that one. That was a very close fight. What was the co-main again? Oh, co-main David Benavidez. That was a good fight. I think you guys are right with David Benavidez only being kind of a one-armed bandit, being a one-armed fighter. And he had to go through some adversity. He went through it, and he looked pretty good. And then also the nail. The nail didn't look half as shot as I thought he was going to look. He had some moments later in the fight in the championship rounds, but I mean, a little bit too little too late. But he still looked decent. I think he may be able to get one more big fight before he's supposed to call it to hang it up.
Well, here's the big question I have for you, Adam, before you go any further.
Yes.
Does Canelo take the bait? And does Gvozdyk go back and say, Canelo, dude, you can beat this guy. You can beat this guy. And you know what? I was touching him up at will in the final 3 or 4 rounds of the fight. I was countering him effectively in the last 3 or 4 rounds of the fight. And if I can do that at age 37, with your speed and power, yeah, you've got a good chance to win. Take that fight for big, big money. Do you think that's what happens, Adam, after this performance?
I don't know. I hope it happens, and I kind of think it does. Rick doesn't think so much, and Rick's more on the inside than I am. But I'm more optimistic. I kind of think that he does do it, and plus, I mean, what other options does Canelo have? He does have Crawford, and he does have who was the other guy that he was supposed to fight?
Dude, don't say William Skull.
No, I'd never say that.
Hamburger Langa.
Yes, and Berlanga and Crawford next. But I kind of hope that it does happen. I'm optimistic about it.
There it is. There it is, guys. There it is. Now, once again, Alberto, I will say this. Carlos Adames is a non-ticket seller for a reason. That's my takeaway from his fight, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I mean, what else can you say? It was a snoozer. What can you say? He retained his title. Congratulations. But did he win over any new fans in the process?
Who?
Carlos Adames.
Oh, nah, he's still. I mean, he was on before. What do you call it? It was Elijah Garcia. Oh no, was Elijah Garcia the last YouTube card, or was he on the pay-per-view?
Elijah Garcia was the last YouTube card.
Was he on the YouTube portion of the card though?
No. Carlos Adames was on the pay-per-view.
Okay, so he was the first fight on the pay-per-view, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. For him to be the very first fight on the pay-per-view, that's not really that good of a look. He's got no fan base.
Well, for
no
a
buzz.
reason, we all saw why.
There's no buzz around him. For you to be the first one on a pay-per-view card means you're up and comer, and that's not good because isn't Adames a champion right now?
WBC 160.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck. No one cares.
That's it. That's it, brother.
What do you call it? A title eliminator was after him for a WBC fake WBC belt.
Yeah, listen to this. And once again, guys, we love what you're saying on the chat, and we like that feedback. Just to let you know, or just to find out, and just to know, remind us that we are not completely crazy. And Sid UK, yeah, he says, first time I saw Adames and never again. I'd rather watch paint dry during rain than watch him ever again. Shockingly bad. Yep, uneventful, to say the least. And Alberto, he says, Adames versus Janabek is guaranteed NyQuil. And that's being nice. Two counterpunchers looking at each other, waiting for the other guy to make the first move. No, thank you. No, thank you. And that would be a unification bout. Not a good look for our business. No, thank you. Sid has something interesting to say. He says, David is 26 or 27. And that tendon injury is yes, it is. Hopefully not, but if he gets an injury like that, his team should pull him out beforehand. He has a long career ahead once again. I told you guys. I thought it was a risky endeavor. But if his plan was to look vulnerable, to try and bait Canelo into a fight, I think it might work. Now, once again, time reveals all. But in my opinion, if that was his goal, mission accomplished, because he didn't look great. In fact, Alberto has this to say: Benavidez's power did not get 75. He's food for any of the top 75 pounders. In my opinion, I'm giving him a pass because I think because of the hand injury and because of the cut, he wasn't interested in mixing it up. If he couldn't get him out of there within the first 6 rounds, yeah, he went to plan B, and that was just to coast. And that's exactly what he did. A lot of people were wondering why he ran out of gas at a new weight division in which he didn't have to kill himself. It defied all logic. And I'm like, nope, I guess you don't listen to World Week Boxing. Because we told you guys he had an injury. And I, for one, would have told him to get out of the fight. But once again, listen to this. Big Rick just tweeted that Frank Martin fired Derek James. Now, once again, I think that's a piss poor move.
That is bad move.
In my opinion, Adam, let's speak to our resident expert, Adam Montequilla Lopez. Adam, in your opinion, was it Derek James's fault
that he got caught?
That he got caught and he lost that fight?
No, it's just he's just pissed off. He's in his emotions right now, and it's just he thinks, oh, well, it was a bad game plan. No, it wasn't. You were winning the fight. You just were going to get caught. It was inevitable. It was inevitable. It was gonna happen. There was nothing you could do unless you knocked him out with the power that you don't have. But you got caught. That's what happens. This is boxing. Derek James is the best thing to happen to you. That's the reason why you probably got so far. You would never got
Well,
that far if you
perhaps,
still being in Indianapolis.
in my opinion, even though Derek James was visibly seen conversing and sitting with Errol Spence Jr., in my opinion, Errol Spence said this after the fight. Oh, man, you know what, man? Just go with another trainer, man. I'm going to find us a good trainer, man. As your promoter, I think you have a future, but just blame your loss on Derek James just like I did.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's exactly what he said. And just like that as well. You know, maybe you should be fighting Regis Prograrius instead. In my opinion, that's what he said. That, hey, throw Derek James under the bus just like I did. Do what your promoter did. That is some bullshit. Adam, are you okay? Did you just fall down, brother?
No, I got my German Shepherd Llama is chasing my cat.
Oh. Well, I tell you what, that's as good a time as any. We've already been on the air for 95 minutes. Your parting shots for our listening audience, my friend.
Yeah, don't have a German Shepherd and a cat mixed together. They're not gonna get the parting shots for the show. Yeah, no.
I'll tell you what, Adam.
There was a great card. I'm happy to talk with you guys. Big audience tonight. A lot of listeners. And we got a lot of good opinions. I liked it a lot. What's the next card? What's the next big card coming up?
You know what? Let me look that up for you, brother. Okay, hold
William
on.
Zepeda's supposed to fight, right?
Huh?
William Zepeda's supposed to fight, right?
Yeah, he's fighting. No, he's fighting in July, I think.
Oh,
The next big fight on the schedule, in my
Bam.
opinion, is going to be Bam Rodriguez, El Gallo Estrada, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Dude. Me and my buddy were thinking about going to that.
What? And to sit with all 5,000 people in Glendale, Arizona?
Yep.
Chingo.
So,
Look,
partying.
you've got on ESPN Plus. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear
you got on ESPN Plus. Okay, you got on ESPN Plus June 21st. Rafael Espinosa versus Sergio Chirino for Espinosa's WBO featherweight title. Troy Isley versus Javier Martinez. Andres Cortez versus Abraham Nova. Floyd Diaz versus Francisco Portillo. That's a decent card. And then you've got on the zone prospect Darius Fulgham versus Rondellis. That's not a bad fight. And then you've got June 29th. That's the next big fight card. You got Teofimo Lopez making his return to Miami, fighting Steve Clackett. And Robisa Ramirez versus Brandon Leon Benitez. And then the big one in Glendale, Arizona, in front of 5,000 people only. Juan Francisco Estrada versus Jesse Bam Rodriguez. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And that's it. That's it, guys. Those are the next big events coming up.
So we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir. We're going to have a lot to talk about, but let's save it for either later this week or but I'll tell you what, Adam, thank you, brother. Thank you for hold on. Hold on. That's August 3rd, brother. August 3rd. Yeah, hold on. Man Down Promotions, but it was Frank Martin. CDK, Joseph Sanders. Thank you, my friend. I can do voices sometimes. I can even do the big Chinaman. With cheese, the rocks. Yes, and I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep doing that, and I don't care how many times you flag me. I don't do this for money. Alberto, Bam versus Gallo should have been at the Alamodome. Yes.
For Dickies?
Dickies, that's in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, right? Albert,
Yeah.
Albert, are you from Fort Worth? Because Dickies is a real real specific area or specific
Yeah.
state.
Yeah, it holds like maybe what, 8,000 Dickies?
Yeah, Dickies, right?
9,000? Yep. And he said Eddie Hearn is doing it in Arizona because it's a day before Mexican soccer team plays in Phoenix. Well, and everyone knows, everyone loves soccer, don't they? Or football?
To be honest,
Bingo.
Mexicans fucking love soccer. They
Of course they do.
They pack fucking Reliant like crazy. When
I know.
the national team goes, everybody floods over to Houston. It's insane.
Well, we'll see if his bold move is a stroke of genius or another blunder in the American market, because he got a litter of them. We'll see, guys. Time reveals all, and that's why we love boxing. Once again, time reveals all. And yeah, the truth is always revealed in the squared circle. That's why we watch boxing. That's why we love it so much. And we want to thank you guys for always sharing it with us every single week. We are here for you guys. But that's going to just about do it. Anything else, Adam?
Platinum fights. You were dreaming that fight wasn't even close. Literally. Yeah, we're not saying it wasn't close. We're just saying that he slowed down. That was it.
I started the theme music a little too early. I'm sorry. As you were, sir.
No, I was just reading Platinum Fights' comment. He said you were dreaming that fight wasn't close. Benavidez slowed down.
Oh,
that's basically what we said. Yeah,
welcome to the show, Kevin. He says you are dreaming that fight wasn't close. Benavidez slowed down the later rounds, but those rounds were close at the end. 17-11 is the good score. That's 9 rounds to 3.
Yeah, that's kind of what we had.
I had it 7-5. I had, once again, it was a tale of two fights, in my opinion. I had Dave Benavidez winning the first 7 easily. And then he just went into coast mode. Impulse power, right? Yeah. And I couldn't find a round to give him after round 7. Gvozdyk was countering him at will. Now, if you were looking to give Dave Benavidez any rounds in that back half after round 7, I would say maybe if you're being nice, you could give him 2 more, but I didn't see it. Gvozdyk, he did the better work, more effective shots, cleaner, more effective and consequential punching. Now, if you think that being behind the high guard and leaning on the ropes wins you the round, then 9 rounds to 3. But look, it doesn't matter. It's of no consequence even talking about that because he won. Right man won.
Yeah.
And I'm giving him a pass anyway. Now, anyone who's being overtly critical on Dave Benavidez in his first fight up, who didn't have a good camp, who took this fight anyway, even though he shouldn't have, then hey, wait and see. In my opinion, guys, you're going to see a much stronger, much better Dave Benavidez with a much healthier camp. Now, once again, I'm going to say this to all of those Canelo fans. If all the guys torching David Benavidez at this time, well, then, hey, you should be all for a Canelo Benavidez fight. Right?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I just want to see the best fight possible.
Let's see it. Come on, man. In hard times boxing. Welcome to the show, sir. And he says, your tip on David's eye was spot on. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, brother. Welcome to the show, sir. And thank you, Alberto, for always being here. And now for sure, guys, 1 hour and 43 minutes in, we are going to say goodnight. Because I need to lie down, guys. But guys, on behalf of the great Montequilla Adam Lopez, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. We will talk to you tomorrow with Real Boxing with Coach Ronnie Shields. Have a great night, everybody.
W.A.W presents Big Time Boxing USA on War of Week Radio.